Over the last few years, there's been a lot of talk of prices in the retro gaming market or video game market, the collector market, going up and up and up. And people are thinking they're priced out of the hobby of collecting video games right now. And especially on YouTube, you see a lot of titles, game collecting is no longer fun. Collecting is too impossible. It's getting too expensive. It's no longer fun to collect for the GameCube. And all of that is so absurd to me because game collecting, especially retro game collecting, is so dirt cheap that I just don't understand how people can be priced out of collecting. Now, there are a few problems. You have to realize you are looking at a console library you want to collect for, a series you want to collect for. You say, I want to go into the retro games collecting scene and I want to collect my childhood video games. You count, like me, you were born in the early 90s, mid 90s, and your childhood was the GameCube. Oh yeah, so I had Mario Sunshine, I had Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, I had Wind Waker, I had Twilight Princess. I want all of those games back and collect them. And then you see, oh wow, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is like 120 euro game right now. That's expensive. Or Mario Sunshine, that's what, like a 40, 50, 60 euro game right now. Wind Waker with the collector's edition disc I had as a child, that's like 100 now or whatever. You have to realize your childhood was not unique. When you had a GameCube, you had the same childhood as everyone else who had a GameCube back then. You have to realize if you go for the big popular titles on a console from a certain time period, you say, I grew up with PS1, I had Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, I had Resident Evil, I had Silent Hill, I had all of those games. Yeah, of course, everyone had those games. So they are a bit more on the pricey side. But you're not priced out of those. Just because you have a narrow view on the games market does not mean you're priced out of the collecting hobby. You simply feel entitled to own and collect the same games everyone else wants to collect. You go on to Google and you Google most popular GameCube games, most expensive GameCube games, best-selling GameCube games. And you see Mario Sunshines, you see the Pokemons, you see all of those games, the Zeldas, and you want all of those. Well, other people in the market are Googling the same list. They're looking at the same games, bidding each other up, increasing the prices. Now, I want to tell you a little secret. You don't have to buy Pokemon XD. You don't have to buy Pokemon Colosseum, Mario Sunshine, Zelda. The GameCube has hundreds of titles, many of them dirt cheap. You can go to eBay right now and buy it now for 10, 15 euros. Great games in the GameCube library. You don't have to buy the same games everyone else is interested in. For example, Parappa the Rapper. You say, I had that as a child. That's one of the grail popular PlayStation 1 games. One of the big name brands of Sony back then. I want a copy and they go for over 100 euros right now. If you want the poster with it, 150. I'm priced out of the hobby. It's too expensive for me. I can no longer afford to collect and buy video games. It's no longer fun. Let me do an angry YouTube video complaining about the retro gaming scene and how not fun it is to collect games anymore because everything is so expensive. You're not entitled to owning Parappa the Rapper on PS1. You're not entitled to owning the games everyone else wants. You can go to any video game store right now and they have bins of PlayStation 1 games nobody wants for next to nothing, and there are gem titles in there. I can go to my local game store. They have a big tub of PlayStation 1 games that nobody wants. There's a Ridge Racer Revolution in there for like 9 euros. Ridge Racer Revolution, it's a great game, great racing game. €9. You're not priced out of the hobby if you can get Ridge Racer Revolution for €9. It's crazy to me. Just get some games that you want to play, you want to check out, you want to experience. Do some research into games nobody else is doing research in, that nobody's looking at. If you are not willing to put in the work to find the cheap games that tickle your fancy, well, then you have to pay the price that everyone else is paying, because all the other people are also too lazy. They're not looking into the GameCube library. They say, I want a Pokemon game because I know Pokemon. You can't do that. You have to put in the work. You either have to pay the money for other people to do the work by saying, this is a Pokemon game, or you have to put in the work yourself to save that money, to find the games, the cheap games, the interesting games that you want in your collection. Other example, you say PS2, Wool of Roses, hundreds of euros now. I cannot afford that. I'm being outbid on every auction because Wool of Rose is so expensive, because Tulip is so expensive. I cannot collect PS2 anymore. Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 12. Like, if you pay more than €20 for both, you're overpaying. If you pay more than like €10 each, you're definitely overpaying for those games. They're dirt cheap. You can get them in every game store you go to. You can go to eBay, click buy it now, €10, shipped to your door. And these are banger titles. These are big name brands on a system that was defined by these titles. You can get them for €10 each. How are you pressed out of a hobby where you can get a big name brand, big as RPG, that defined the whole console generation for €10? How are you outpriced? I don't understand. I'm a fan of the Master System. People are saying, oh, Phantasy Star is so expensive. Ys is so expensive. All of those games. Alex Kidd and Miracle World, physical copy, too expensive. You can get Transport. Buy it now. I just checked €10, €15 on eBay. Even old-ass games are dirt cheap. Now, is Transport a fantastic game that you have to play? No. Is it a key defining title on the Master System? Yes. So if you just want to have a taste of the Master System, Transport is a fantastic game to get. And it's dirt cheap. You can get it for next to nothing. More modern games, people are saying 3DS is getting too expensive. It's, after the servers shut down, like all the physical games are skyrocketing. Yokai Watch 3, too expensive. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Nocturne, too expensive. Can't afford that anymore. A few months ago, I went to Amazon. I bought a factory sealed Miitopia for the 3DS, brand new, Amazon, Prime shipping, next day shipping, €12. Shipped to my door the next day. For a brand new factory sealed role-playing game on the Nintendo 3DS, a big, hot, popular system right now. How are you priced out of the hobby? When you can go to Amazon right now, click buy it now, on the next day you get a factory sealed, fresh copy of a role-playing game on the 3DS. And Miitopia is pretty nice. It's not a fantastic game. It's not mind-blowing. It's no Shin Megami Tensei. But it's fun. It's great. It's cool. It's something I'm proud to have in my collection because I had lots of fun with this game. And it's dirt cheap. Go look for the games that nobody else is looking at right now. Nobody's looking at Miitopia. There's a Switch version out. Why would they look at this? Well, you could look at this. You could save money. You can have a ball of a time with Miitopia. And I have a little secret here for you. As a video game collector, I tell you how to get big games for your collection without even realizing it. You can play the games, right? You go out You have a budget of 20 euros. 20 euros. Okay, what am I going to do with that? Okay, let me go out, 20 euros, get myself copies of Final Fantasy X and 12. Final Fantasy X, 50-hour RPG, at least. Same thing, Final Fantasy 12. If you're like me, you don't have too much time to play, but you have weekends, you have after work. Yeah, finishing Final Fantasy X will probably take you a month. 12, same thing. Now you have 2 months of gameplay right here, 20 euros. Every month, you put aside any number of money into like a games collecting account. 25 euros a month, 50 euros a month. Yeah, some smaller amount that's not going to break the bank, but you at least get some bang out of it. 25 euros a month. You have 2 months of gameplay. Now you have 50 euros. Okay, what am I going to do with my 50? Amazon has this for 12 euros. Okay, I'll get it for 12. Now you have 38 euros or dollars or whatever left in your collecting account, and you have another RPG to play. Yeah, this one is a bit of a shorter one, so it will probably maybe take you a few weeks, a month. In that time, you save up another 25, 50 euros. Okay, now you have, I don't know, 70 euros, 75, something around that. You're busy at work. You're busy in school. You have exams coming up. You don't have the time to play games right now. Let's focus on school for the next month. Still save up that 25, 50 euros. Okay. Now you have 100 euros in your bank account, saved up over the month. 100, you can do a lot of damage in the game collecting scene for 100 euros. You can get Parappa the Rapper for 100 euros. Now you have one of the Grail, popular, cool games on the PS1 without even, having to break the bank. You had things to do over the time. And this is a music rhythm game. You can play this one over and over. Of course, it's not going to give like 50 hours of straight gameplay time, but you can play it over a month, here or there, and you have a cool game for your collection. Now, you're saying, okay, what do I do now? You look around, you say, okay, Final Fantasy, this, I beat all of those games. After a month or two, where I saved another 25 euros a month, I'm sick of Parappa the Rapper. Let me sell all of this. I will get 100 euros back. Let's say you get the same amount back. So you get, what is this? Let's say 125. Let's lose a little bit of money in the process. 125 for all of these games. You sell it online, you sell it to another collector. Now you have 125 euros in your bank account. You can get a Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for this. 125 euros? Sure. Look for an auction. Look for a little deal somewhere. Maybe somewhere there's a creased manual and you don't care. You get this. Now you can play it. It's a 30-hour RPG. It will take you another month to beat. You save up another 25, 50 euros. Now you have this game and another 25, 50 euros. Now you can go out. You can get a copy of Transport for that. Do you see what I mean? Just work with what you have. Even if you say, I don't want to sell my games, I want my Parappa the Rapper. I want my Final Fantasy in my collection, on my shelf. Just save up for another month or two. Then you can get your Pokemon XD. Then you have it all on your shelf, next to each other. Look at this, that's a fine little collection. You don't need a big collection in the first month or two. Start small, get a game here, a game there. Now the problem is, people who feel they're priced out of game collecting are not priced out of game collecting. They're priced out of game hunting for deals. What they really want is a bunch of games for next to nothing that they can put on their shelves as a nice YouTube background, and people will say, I'm impressed. That guy, He's cool. He is into games. I can see he likes video games. And people are complaining, all the scalpers are picking up the games, selling them online for a profit. I can no longer go out and get a big tub of Nintendo 64 games for €5. I can no longer get those deals. All the scalpers are getting those and they're absorbing them into their inventory. What would you have done? You got the big tub of Nintendo 64 games and you took it out of the market. You're just the same as all the scalpers. So what people are really priced out of is getting games for next to nothing because it's getting too competitive out there. The game hunting may no longer be fun, but game hunting is not game collecting. And you can still hunt for deals. You need a bit of a bigger budget, maybe. You can still hunt for games. You can go to eBay, auction hunting. Look around for the grail game you really want for price you want to pay. Game collecting is gathering a bunch of games that symbolize your taste in games, your interest in games, symbolize a console library, something. Don't just get games here or there and then complain that all the good games are too expensive and you only have trashed here cheap shit on your shelf. Stay focused a little bit. Work with what you have. You can do a lot of damage with a little bit of money a month if you save it up for long enough. And that's my word here. You are not priced out of game collecting. You have to broaden your focus on the game collecting scene. You have to look outside of the box. Don't buy something everyone else is buying. Don't collect something everyone else is collecting. Do your own research. Hunt around a little bit. Save up money every month. Don't buy anything you see. Stay focused on what you want. If you want a Pokemon XD, you may have to save up for a month or two. That's fine, you don't need it right now. It's not running away. And luckily we are living in a time where we no longer need the physical item to play the game. Nintendo's not selling this anymore. You cannot give them money to play Pokemon XD. Go pirate it. Mod your Wii. Put it on there. Use the Wii emulator on PC. You're not hurting anyone with that. You can play the game. The collecting is not running away. My word for you. Go back out there. Be positive about game collecting. Stop being so negative all the time. You're not priced out. You just have to look for other things to get. See you in the next video.